Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Pro and Expert Division in the Celtic Cup Tournament. A new course called the Drumore Links is what we are going to play. And before we start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell button so you get a notification every time there's a live stream or a new video. Also, sign up on Patreon to get the updated text guides or just get the general text guides. Or, personalized text guide training sessions, you name it, everything, we have it for you. Also, visit golf-tommy.com for more Golf Clash related content. And you can also find all the elevation adjustment for the Drumore Links and all other courses on golf-tommy.com. Links in the video description down below. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to play the Pro and Expert tee, which is going to be second tee. We can practice every single hole on tour number 10, the Club Oceania. And I really do suggest that if you have the possibility, then do so. Because playing and practicing, reading, studying, when it comes to new courses, gives you a massive advantage over your opponents, as they will not be as dialed in as you will. And we're gonna take a look at the playthrough. It's a short playthrough with my shots. If you do want to see longer, not longer explanation, but a little bit longer hole guides, then you check out the hole guides that are uploaded separately, where you can find me talk a little bit more, but it will still include the same type of content. So let's go. Hole number 1, 10% extra, 1-0 for the drive. And we're going to play with as minimum a power 2 ball in tailwind. If we do have a headwind or a crosswind, we need to step up playing with a power 3 ball. I suggest you play right side, gives you a better line when it comes to your second shot. Playing on the left side will still give you a line, but it's not going to be as good. And you're going to notice why in just a little bit. Max topspin, I'm also using a decent amount of side spin to the left here, trying to make sure that I'm gonna hit, the path between the water on the left and the rough on the right. And we're going to bounce very nicely here on the fairway, and we take the roll here, giving ourselves a very decent amount of distance. Then we do have two options for the approach. We can either attack the pin directly, as I'm doing here, using either max backspin or using like 3 to 4 bars of backspin. I would say like this: having tailwind, max backspin approach is better, as we're otherwise going to adjust down into the water. Having a crosswind or having a headwind, we should just bounce ourselves up towards the pin instead. If you don't feel comfortable doing that and you rather want to bounce over the water, you can do that instead. But I would rather see that as an opportunity or like as a way to go if you would be having a drive that gives you headwind or crosswind and you're not going to reach that far. Nothing extra when it comes to elevation for the second shot, so that's a big 0 for that one. Hole number 2, and here we choose two ways of playing. Either we go back and we play with the Goliath or whatever long iron we have before the rough there and bounce ourselves up towards the pin. Or we're going to do as I'm doing here, using the sniper, using 3 to 5 bars of backspin depending on the wind, and then we're going to play around 3 green squares to the right of the pin to compensate for the push that we're getting from the crosswind here. And make sure that if you're adjusting for a crosswind right to left, that you turn your screen around to the other direction, so you have to push your adjustment instead of pulling as you probably are used to. Very important. And also the elevation adjustment here is going to be 15%. You can see here that the ball is going to bounce very nicely on the fairway, coming in here a little bit too much to the right, but you can see the trick that I'm looking for. Hole number 3, here we're going to play 10% extra for the drive, and the plan for us here now is to get this ball to be as close to the top there as possible. If you would be playing with some sort of a tailwind, I could think of choosing the quarterback as a driver to have a better ball guideline to help us getting as close there to the top as possible. You can also see that I'm kind of taking away, at least mentally, the way of playing out there to the right as our opponent is doing, because I do feel that if we're going to give ourselves a chance for the albatross, we have to take the route that I'm going to show you now. Very important with a power 3 ball, as you do need distance. Also very important to pick a club that gives you distance for the second shot. And the reason I want distance for the second shot is to prevent for me from, you know, not feeling the pressure of having to be this close that I'm here now and then not be able to reach to the spot that we're aiming for now. We're aiming for the fairway pad here, and in this scenario we could have played with the sniper as we did a very good drive. But I would say that play with the cataclysm or the big dog to give yourself the distance that so you're not going to struggle. Max side spin to the right, and we're going to play without top and without backspin. Now when we are adjusting, we're adjusting from a higher point to a lower point. So it's very important that we put up our target a little bit in the end to make sure that we're not losing more distance. The shot here is going to be uphill, 10% uphill, so you need to subtract 10% from your original adjustment. And we bounce here, and as everything is uphill, we're gonna go a little bit short, but this is a very tough hole to making an albatross on. Hole number 4, par 3. Here we're going to play with either the long iron or the wood club. It all depends on what wind we're having. You can see playing with a power 2 ball puts me just exactly in between clubs, and with this type of wind I can play with a very narrow fairway there, as the wind is kind of perfectly aligned and I shouldn't be scared about going too far here. When we play with from the second tee, we're going to over adjust 20% for a shot, and we're going to play this shot without top, without backspin in this scenario, but I would say play with half a bar to 1 bar. The reason we're coming a little bit too much to the left is that I'm actually playing with 15% adjusting this shot instead of the 20 that I feel that we should be using. Hole number 5, I consider this hole to be the best opportunity for us making an eagle. I do almost feel that this is going to be a must eagle for us, and I know that's maybe strange saying that when we're not going to be able to reach very close to the green. But we're going to start by neglecting the left side directly. We're going to take that one away, and I'm going to explain that why in just a little sec. Play on the right side, 3 bars top spin, max side spin to the right, and we over adjust 10%. That was 15, but 0. 10%. The reason we take away the left side, it's because there is a bunker being just by the green there, and it's going to be massively in play, which is from the left side. From the right side there is no bunker, and then we have a much easier time approaching the pin. For those of you that do know me and know that I love to find rough bumps, and I do believe I've found a very consistent rough bump here to trying to get this ball in the hole from distance. I'm playing the second shot 10% extra, and I want to state that to be very clear that you can use a different elevation adjustment. You just need to change the adjustment a little bit. That you can have a different elevation for the same type of shot. That's very important to have in mind. And I'm playing it 10% extra, and we're going to bounce in the rough, rolling towards the green, slightly over adjusted here. As you can see, I'm missing there to the right, but you can see that on the roll there is a very consistent roll, and I do believe that that is going to be a hole, a shot that we can definitely dial in the tournament. Hole number 6, another very tough par 5, and here a power 3 ball is an absolute must. When we do have any form of tailwind, we're going to go full blast down the right side, trying to gain as much distance as possible. It is a risky drive and it's a tough drive, but it's a way better drive to do than trying to play on the left side. If we do have a massive headwind here, then we play on the left side because that's the only thing that we can do. But then no matter where you're gonna end up on that fairway, you will not be able to attack the pin directly, and then you will have to settle for maybe shipping it in for an eagle or something like that. Playing down here to the right is going to give ourselves an opportunity making the albatross from distance. If so, it's going to be with the rough bump. If so, it's going to be with a curl shot onto the green, but there is at least an opportunity. Here, I've been playing this one 10% extra, but I would say that you will have to play this one to be an uphill adjustment. I would say uphill 10% is going to be the adjustment that you will have to play for here. And I'm using in the whole guide that I'm doing, I'm saying 10% downhill, which is a mistake from me saying that. I said wrong, and you can see in the comment on that whole guide that I'm changing my mind to minus 10%. We bounce in the rough here, but as we are using a 10% over adjustment, we are going to miss the rough bump in the way that we wanted to, so make sure that you're getting the correct adjustment. Hole number 7, and here we're going to play 20% extra as the drive on hole number 6, and it's going to be 20% extra. With a tailwind, we're going to play with 2 to 4 bars of backspin, depending on how close you want to play by the rough line there. And if you do have a headwind, we're going to play it with half a bar of topspin, most likely depending on the strength in the wind. We're going to just make it easy, bounce over the bunker and trying to get this ball to roll nicely towards the pin. I do believe that this is definitely going to be some hole-in-ones on this one, as I feel that the green is very flat and there isn't that many bumps, and that's definitely going to be super helpful in trying to get in the hole-in-one. Hole number 8, par 4, 10% extra for the drive. Here I'm playing with a power 2 ball, but I would suggest you to play with a power 3 ball in general to give yourself the distance. Sure, if you don't have any power 3 balls or you have a very few of them, then you can play with a power 2 ball, as it, in tailwind is still gonna be enough. But if we're going to go and play in some sort of a headwind here, I would like to have a power 3 ball. Max topspin, trying to gain as much distance as possible on the left, and the reason I'm choosing the left side is that making that drive correct is going to give ourselves an elevation of 0 for the second shot, while if we're playing on the right side, it's going to give us an elevation from either 0, 10, 20 or even 30, depending on where on that slope the ball is going to stop rolling. So left side if you can, if not, then we play right side and take it for what it is. Second shot, nothing extra from the left side, as I just mentioned. 2 bars of backspin, aiming for the hole, and I'm going to adjust. In this scenario, I'm adjusting not for maximum distance, obviously, as I'm not in maximum distance. But this is also a shot here that is going to be very interesting, as there is a possibility to dial this one in as well. But obviously, we need to hit perfect. Last but not least, we're going to play hole number 9, par 5, and we're going to play with 0 in elevation for the first shot, and we're going to play with 0 in elevation for the second shot. Very rare that we do that. Max side spin to the right and 2 bars of backspin with the extra mile, and the reason I'm choosing the extra mile bag here is that I do want to have the big dog as the second club, as we do need this distance. So I'm making sure that I'm changing to that bag, and if I would be having the quarterback together with the big dog, I would be playing with that bag instead, as the quarterback would give us a much easier time getting the ball up to the top right here. You can go absolute full blast down the middle, but I'm not sure that you're even gonna reach that far from that angle as well. So now we're ending up there, and you can see that we are reaching pretty far. If we would be having a tailwind, we could use overpower to go directly over the rough and have no problem to reach for the green. But now where we can't, because we are a little bit short with our drive, we will have to bounce before the rough. Here, the horizon would be an absolute perfect club here, as it has a lot of topspin. And here we do need to have as much topspin as possible, otherwise we're going to fall short. Even if you fall short not reaching the green here, as we are doing with the big dog, there is no, it's not over. You still have a very good chance making the eagle here with your wedge. Because the thing that you wanted to do is to back up, use topspin, and let the ball guideline guide you towards the pin here. And that is a huge tip to use, which, having to adjust backwards here, giving yourself a longer ball guideline, and you can even do it longer than I have if you have more topspin, and then it's going to be a much easier wedge to do. You can see here as well that I didn't move that much, and I hit great left, and the ball is still gonna go in the hole, and you can see what a nice roll is going to get down towards the pin. So this was the playthrough for Pro and Expert Division with general wind. We don't know what wind is going to be in the tournament yet, but it's always interesting to take a look to know the routes and also know what elevation adjustment I'm using. Once again, please have in mind, when it comes to elevation, you can use a different elevation for the same type of shot. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, check out the recent elevation guide that I do have out on the YouTube channel. And I want to say that because I do believe that you might have a slight different approach for a specific shot. But if you're going to follow my guides, then I'm going to base my shots with this elevation because I believe it's working. So that's the reason. So the video here is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and I want to make sure that if you do want to get the text guide, you sign up on Patreon. You visit golfclashtommy.com to make sure you are up to date with the guides that is available for all the tour plays, all the tournaments, golden shot, you know, you name it, everything is there. Thank you so much for watching, and I want to wish you the best of luck in the Celtic Cup Tournament.